The West Australian Government has taken the fight to the perpetrators of violent sexual and physical crimes, introducing tough new laws to combat serious home invasions. Police Minister Lisa Harvey and Attorney General Michael Minchin were on hand as Premier Colin Barnett committed to putting the strict laws through. Mr Barnett said a Liberal government will introduce legislation mandating a minimum jail term of 75% of the maximum available, that is for an adult offender who commits serious physical or sexual assaults in the course of a home invasion. The Police Minister echoed the Premier's statements, stating the government believed it was giving the public the legislation they desired.
I have spoken to thousands of people in the community at community forums. They are outraged at the spate of home burglaries that have been occurring. They are extremely annoyed that these juveniles and other repeat offenders go to court and then they don't have the 3 strikes legislation applied. They don't do time behind bars. They want to see that happen. And when they injure somebody in the course of that offence, they are just outraged that this occurs. Every person wants to feel safe in their own home. They have a right to feel safe in their own home.
Under these new laws, an offender who breaks into a house and violently rapes someone will face a minimum of 15 years jail. An offender who breaks into a house and seriously physically assaults someone will face a minimum of 7 years, 6 months jail. An offender who breaks into a house and indecently assaults someone will face a minimum of 3 years and 9 months jail. One issue that was raised was the issue of home invasions by those of a juvenile age, which the Attorney General acknowledged was still a big issue, and that the government was ready to treat the matter carefully and with due process.
It is equally important. Many of these offences are committed by juveniles, and although we're very conscious that we need to treat juveniles in a different fashion to adults, they're not simply small adults, nevertheless a line has to be drawn in respect of their persistent reoffending. There are a number of anomalies in the legislation as it is. As the Minister has explained, any offence that's committed that's 2 years old doesn't count towards a strike, and currently references to juvenile justice teams and cautions are not counted as strikes, and we'll be addressing that issue also, so that the courts can take those things into account in calculating the number of strikes against an offender. In the case of juvenile offenders over the age of 16, they will be subject to the mandatory minimum term of imprisonment or detention, as the case requires, if they commit 3 strikes.
When it does come to underage offending, a 3-year mandatory minimum period of detention will apply to juveniles aged 16 and above who commit serious offences of physical or sexual violence in the course of a home invasion. Kristian Dwyer, WAMN News.